coach. And listen, I help amazingly fantastic faith-based leaders and entrepreneurs overcome their limiting beliefs about money, learn to manage their finances so they can live their most abundant life. And I'm excited about today's podcast, y'all, because you've seen this lady with me before, but today I'm interviewing her. Yes, I'm going to be asking her questions. She is one of the fantastic volunteers that has so graciously given up her time to help me organize this Kingdom Wealth Warrior Summit. If you didn't know, I have a summit coming up this year, 2024, October 19th, here in Houston, Texas. And the Kingdom Wealth Warriors Summit is really in place to help you get over, right? Get over any beliefs, get over any limitations, any bad thinking, anything that is keeping you from living that abundant life that I'm always talking about. So I'm excited. So, without further ado, let me bring our guest of honor into the conversation. This is my dear friend, Love Pate. As I said, she's also a volunteer with the summit. She's helped me in so many ways. If you follow me on Clubhouse, you already know who she is. But I'm going to give her an opportunity right here to introduce herself and to tell us about her businesses and what she has going on. So, Miss Love Pate, you have
Good
the
morning, Coach Deb. It is such an honor to be on your podcast today. Again, I love to get on here with you. And so, hello, everyone. I am Love Pate, the Anointed Architect and Mindset Mentor. I help female leaders of faith shift their mindset in order to build structurally sound connections to their true identity so that through a strong sense of value, they can see a clear pathway from their now unto the next evolution of themselves. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am the owner and the creative architect of Love Affairs Wedding and Event Planning. And I am the Anointed Architect and Mindset Mentor of the Blueprint Experience. Both of these businesses are rooted in my professional and educational background as an architect. And so for the wedding business, what I do is I take your creative ideas and I partner them with innovation and intricate details in order to create an event that you will love. And when we think about the idea of building, which I believe God has created me as a builder, I use those concepts of the strength and durability of a building to help us understand our blueprint, which is where we get to in the mindset as a mindset mentor for the Blueprint Experience. What I do there is that I help people get over their limited perspectives and beliefs so they can walk in who God has boldly called them to be. So that is who I am, and I'm so grateful to be here today.
Now, y'all know, and I've told her this before. Listen, I've never met an architect. Number one, definitely haven't met a Black architect and a Black female architect. So, so Love is a very smart, intelligent person. Listen, and unique in how she has really melted her skills together to form these businesses, her event planning, her coaching business. So it's really a pleasure to know her. Number one, it's a pleasure to know you, Love. And, and it's definitely a pleasure to have you here on the podcast. All right. So let me ask you about your businesses. What core values are beliefs, right? Do you think really drove you to start those businesses or to continue in business?
Well, if I think about my core values, one of the first things has to do with wanting women to overcome that battle of the mind. I want us to win in that area. And so I have a strong desire to see daughters. And that's who I'm called to, not slighting any of the brothers. But I believe that women, once we understand who we are and what we've been called to do, we are powerful individuals that are to make a huge impact in this earth. The other thing is love. A lot of times, lack of love or limited love or a perspective of love sometimes causes a limited belief about what we think we value or what we deserve. I want God's daughters to know that He loves them beyond measure, that they are valued beyond measure, and He was very intentional about them. Right. The other thing is, I want people to know that I have a servant's heart. We are called to serve. As leaders, we are called to serve. That doesn't mean we're always up front, because if I'm up front, how am I protecting my flock? The idea is I need to be able to be called to lead, but take a humble position to get behind and push, be able to push and protect people and help position people for their next. And so those are some of the rooted beliefs, and there's even more, but I'm thankful for God for just the opportunity to be used, because He could use somebody else, but He chose to use me, and I'm grateful.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I love, some of the things that you talked about, because I do think that it's connected really to what we are trying to accomplish, even with the summit. I think that many times our limiting beliefs cause us not to pursue God's best for our
Right.
life. And we come up settling, right? We come up settling for, what we think we deserve. Oh my goodness. And, that's rooted in low self-esteem, not really valuing ourselves, not being able to see past what we've been through. So I love what you're doing, the mindset, motivation. Love has a live Monday through Friday, right? Love on Instagram. Our morning, I think it's the morning motivation, right?
Mindset,
Okay.
morning motivation.
Yeah. So love, while we're talking about that, why don't you tell us a little bit about, even that, about that live that you do, your mindset motivation, and kind of what you are driving people to even doing that every day.
Right. So with mindset, morning motivation, I think it started from the fact that how we start our day is important. So my key drive is saying, let me get in before you are inundated with life and the things you're going to face and people, right? And set a high mindset about what you're going to come up against. I want people to understand that everything they need is on the inside of them, that they're valued, they have strength, all those things. And sometimes, especially as leaders, when you're always constantly pouring into other people, and then you look around and you don't do enough of pouring into yourself. So this is a time in the morning where you can be selfish about getting what you need for that day, so that you can bring your best self to the people that you've been called to, or who are called to your voice. And so that's my main motivation with that. After that, I do also do a 60-second TikTok of the same thing. I've learned definitely from our coach and being in mentoring, that about being clear and concise. So I take that message and basically give you a power vitamin, right, on TikTok of what I spoke of earlier that day, because sometimes people are busy and you might just need a clip. And that clip will change the course of your day and how you think about the course of your day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we will definitely put Love's information in the comments so that you can follow her. But tell us again, I know you're doing it Monday through Friday. What time are you on Instagram? Because I don't
Yes.
want the people to miss you.
So Monday through Friday, it says 7 a.m. So look for me between 7 to 7:15. I'm gonna be really honest, y'all. I be getting in and having a good time with God, and I be like, oh, I'm supposed to be live. So, but 7 a.m. Monday through Friday is my time. And y'all, I'm in and out 10 minutes and we out. So you sleep on it and you might be coming in here and have to get on the replay, but it's okay. I'm glad that they have replays, because it allows it to still be there for those who may need that. And then right after that, I'll post my short 60-second on my TikTok, so that they can, get in, get what they need, and be ready for their day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And y'all, I listen to her IG lives, and they are powerful. And another thing you don't know about Love is that she loves acronyms. She kind of left that out. So
Listen, can't give. Look, I'm trying not to give them all of them. They be like, you know,
I'm just
what
trying to make sure that people know
people
what to
know.
effect, right? So bring your notepad or have your note your note app out or something, because she's always giving us an acronym to help us remember, right, the message that she's bringing forward. So it really is amazing. This is an amazing woman. I am so blessed, y'all. And we all are. We are all blessed to have a woman of God like this who continues to pour on social media and as a volunteer at the Kingdom Wealth Warrior Summit. So I want to transition and ask you, what inspired you to volunteer for the summit?
All right, so let's be very honest. I have been working with Deb, was doing a 6 a.m. with Deb, and Deb, even though she, giving me some kudos, Deb is powerful too, right? And she had me up at 6 a.m. with my acronyms and got to get it in ready and on power mode. However, I believe in what Deb was doing, right? Because especially in the idea of mindset and our worth, there's an inheritance that God has stored up for us. And sometimes because of how we think about ourselves, we don't think we deserve it. And so when I got the opportunity last year, and it was interesting how she asked me, she didn't ask me like, said, God already told me, but you can make your decision about it. You can think about it. And, I was like, don't give me an out now. You're going to have to come and say, the Lord told me and you were supposed to be here. But no, in all seriousness, your Kingdom Wealth Warriors and the principles behind it aligns with the idea of wealth and what we deserve. And so it was almost like a perfect match, really, because if we win the mind in our, win the war in our mind, we'll win the war in our money, right? And so last year, getting the opportunity to be one of the first openers on the Kingdom Wealth Warrior Summit from last year, and to see how God wove that message through every speaker. Like, if you missed it, I don't even know if it's still up, but you missed a powerful time. And the amazing part about it, it was like getting a gourmet meal where somebody was cooking it in your kitchen and just served it up right at your house. You didn't even have to leave your house to get this transformation. So it was an amazing opportunity to partner with something that God's children need to know, that this is a part of our inheritance of being sons and daughters of the King. And so I am grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this team. I can't wait for this year's summit because it has to get what they say, gooder and gooder. And I know that's not a word, right? We're going to go better and better. But, building on last year, we got to come with it. The Holy Spirit is going to do some powerful things. So I'm excited. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes, yes. And so if you didn't know, audience, we had a summit last year on Clubhouse. If you're not familiar with Clubhouse, it's an app, a social media app, a voice app. And we had I think it was a 3-night summit. I'm trying to remember, but I do think the recordings are still there. If you'd like to go back and listen, it was last October. But yes, Love was one of our opening speakers, and we had some other speakers. One who's actually going to return this year, Apostle Bowser, will also be at this year's summit. He spoke last year, but and some other people that we'll get into later. But it was an amazing time. God moved in an amazing way through this woman that's right here on the screen and others, right? Just and it's so true. God, everyone's message connected. And isn't that how the Holy Spirit works,
Yes.
saints? Everybody's message connected. Nobody had a theme. Nobody, it was just, hey, I'm having this summit. This is what it's about. It was really based on the people, right, were based on these were people that had heard me and knew kind of where I was coming from. So it wasn't completely blind, except for one, now that I think about it. But anyway, that's beside the point. So Love was a speaker last year. This year she's a volunteer. Listen, y'all, and don't think that we not working. It is work. Last year's event was online, and that was work. Listen, all you entrepreneurs out there know, even the online events are work. But this year we're going to be in person, so I'm even more excited about that. So, you attended last year's summit. Can you share with the audience, something that impacted you? How did that summit impact you? I know you were a speaker, but you also were an attendee. So,
Yes.
so talk to us a little bit about that.
So again, the idea for everyone is about understanding value and understanding why we're here and understanding why wealth is a part of our inheritance. Last year for me, it what really stood out for me is like changing my mindset about it myself. Here I am, a mindset coach, and transparency is that I may have a challenge about mindset about me, because oftentimes leaders, we are so willing to pour into others. We can see the value of something for other people,
Mm-hmm.
but what stood out for me is that it's time to see the value in it for me. It's time for me to get in position. And when I get in position, everything that's connected to me gets in position. And all the speakers, I mean, spoke about that. You get what I'm saying? That purpose in us, how wealth it connects with what God has called us to do. It was an amazing time. I even loved when we did the all of the different entrepreneurs, the panel. You know, you have people out there that God is doing different things with
Mm-hmm.
in different ways, and how you can show how all of them, even though they may have a different focus, are interconnected. Because we have one main author for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was an amazing time. It was powerful.
Yes, yes, yes. I too enjoyed last year at the Entrepreneurs Roundtable, and yes, that was amazing to hear from all the different voices, because we all have a different perspective. But one thing that we all have in common is that we need to generate wealth.
Yeah.
Right? We need resources for the kingdom mandate that God has upon all our lives. And
Right.
listen, that's what it's about. Even what Love is doing in her business, I'm telling you guys, it's all connected. It's about living an abundant life. It's about having what we need in our heart, in our mind, right, in our soul, in all our being, so that we can accomplish what God really has for us. So
Right.
many times, one of the reasons that I wanted to do something like this is so many times I hear believers say, if I had the money, I would fill
Right.
in the blank. Right. If I had whatever the resources, I would do what God called me to do. I would bless people like God called me to bless them, etc., etc. Listen, we have a responsibility. Yes, we have a responsibility, right, to get the wealth. We have a responsibility to live in abundance, right? Not just with our money, but listen, mind, body, and spirit,
Right.
right? Because it takes all of that. And so I'm so excited about what God is doing in the lives of all those around me. All right, listen, y'all, I'm surrounded by great people. Love is one of, I'm surrounded by great women and men of God that are really moving the needle forward. And, some of them, will be at the summit. So I'm excited about that. So listen, love, as we wrap this up, because time, you know how
Time
time be going.
flies
Time
when
be
you have
flying.
when you
Listen.
have a good time.
So I'm so glad that love. First of all, I'm so glad that you joined me today. Always excited to talk with you. We always have great conversation. But what would you say to someone who may be thinking about haven't made that decision yet about coming to the summit? What would you say to them about attending?
I would tell them to sell out to themselves, to sell out to their blueprint and put themselves first. You shouldn't have a hesitation when it comes to yourself. This is about you. This is about you getting in position. This is about you having the right posture of getting what God has stored up for you. Don't miss out on what God has stored up for you because you choose not to be in the room. In the room is where we're going to get everything we need to transform and to transition into our next level. And you don't want to miss it. It will be great, it will be powerful. And I hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. The anointed architect herself, Love Pate. Thank you so much for joining us on today. Listen, audience, I am scrolling at the bottom of the screen, the website. Yes, and we'll have it in the comments too. But wealthwarriorsarise.com is where you can go to register. Listen, this summit is going to be amazing. Saturday, October 19th, 2024 in Houston, Texas. You still have time. You still have time. Get your ticket, get your registration, get your flight, your hotel, whatever it is you need, or drive. You might be in Houston. Come on, drive. We on the what is that? The west side. We're on the west side of Houston. So you can just drive over. Love to have you in the room. We have some amazing speakers. We have Apostle J.E. Bowser, who we mentioned earlier. Prophetess Patrice Johnson. Listen, you don't want to miss this woman of God. The power couple themselves, Willie and Tequila Adolf, who are going to talk to us about real estate. Listen, okay, I'm not gonna get into it because I'm gonna start all over. I was about to say, right, real estate, they're not making no more land, y'all. So if you really need some wealth, that's where we need to go. But okay, and then of course, I'm so excited about Dr. Bridget Pfizer, who's also going to be joining us. So listen, get your tickets. There's information on the website, or you can always reach out to us. Again, thank you for joining us on today. Thank you, Love Pate, the
Thank
anointed
you.
architect. Don't forget, y'all, to join Love Monday through Friday, 7 to 7:15 a.m. on Instagram. Catch that. You don't look, it's gonna bless your life. It's going to bless your life. Until next time, you already know what I'm gonna say. Go have your most abundant day. This is